100-Year Jukebox presents Decades. Come on and hear. Come on and hear. American popular music 1911 through 1917. Welcome to 100-Year Jukebox's Decades arc. We're your hosts, Katie Bloomer.
Hi, Ephraim Ellen McGregor.
Yo, Peter McGee here.
Today we look at how one song established American popular music around the globe, starting in 1911 and going right through 1917.
Hey, Katie, how come this episode only covers part of the decade? Too much music to fit into one program?
Partly.
I'm guessing it's more than bandwidth.
Yes, the world would call it the Great War.
Oh, you mean World War I?
Yes, and the war changed everything. But we'll look at that in a future Decades episode. For now, OYJ looks at American popular music in the run-up to the Great War, 1911-1917.
Good. There were a lot of great songs in this time period.
And finally, something reliable to play them on.
And new great songwriters like Jerome Kern, Sheldon Brooks, W.C. Handy, and the team of Monaco and McCarthy, and then
Katie, haven't you forgotten the songwriter considered to be the father of American popular music?
That would be
Irving Berlin. And that's why this episode uses lyrics from Irving Berlin's worldwide mega hit, Alexander's Ragtime Band, as our theme for today's episode. Here's a little excerpt from the chorus. Come on and hear, come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before, so natural it will make your spirit soar.
Personally, I could use a little spirit soaring about now.
Me too. How about we concentrate on popular culture in that time, 1911, 1916, just before we got pulled into what became the First World War.
It'll take just a second to get my notes on the Agadir crisis, the Triple Entente versus the Triple Alliance stuff.
Hey! Do we look like the Ken Burns fan club here?
We'd appreciate your thoughts on the period's technical advances. In the meantime, let's look at 1912, which saw the American jigsaw puzzle get filled in with New Mexico and Arizona.
There'd be Alaska and Hawaii in 1959, of course, but they'd have to go on corners of the puzzle.
When I think of 1912, I think of the unsinkable Titanic sinking, arrogance, bad engineering. They could have learned a lot from us, like in the auto manufacturing business. The number of motorized vehicles had reached 1 million in 1913, and over 3 million by 1916.
Wow.
Most of these cars were Ford's Model T. Demand was rising, and auto factories were booming.
The need for workers was so great that it led to the Great Migration. African Americans, seeing a chance at a better life, came up from the deep South to manufacturing jobs in Detroit, Chicago, New York, and more. The Great Migration led to one of the seminal events in American popular cultural history, the Harlem Renaissance.
And the worldwide spread of jazz and the blues.
The bedrock of true American popular music.
Alexander's Ragtime Band is the vehicle that started everything. First of all, it's irresistibly catchy in 4/4, the rhythm of the heart.
And that's not ragtime. It's not syncopated like a true rag.
Besides, if I remember correctly, ragtime was always considered rather disreputable and not to be played when ladies were present.
And anyway, wasn't ragtime kind of old hat from the turn of the century?
Yes, and the lyrics tend to be minstrel show cliches like, my honey lamb, and it's the best band what am.
Stop! I can't stand no more.
But altogether, Alexander's Ragtime Band works. It's catchy, fun, and invites the whole family to hum along. ARB was not just a hit, and not just in America. Alexander's Ragtime Band sold 1 million copies of sheet music in its debut year of 1911, another million in 1912, and was sung and played all over the world. Its success led the way for other homegrown American hits to follow.
I get it. Alexander's Ragtime Band was the Heartbreak Hotel and I Want to Hold Your Hand of its day, all wrapped up in one package.
Not only was it featured in vaudeville, Broadway, and in London, but it became the winning music for Vernon and Irene Castle's nightclub act in Paris. And then they took it around the world. All of a sudden, there were new dances, perfect for the young sophisticate who was bored by traditional two-steps and yet repulsed by the common vulgar turkey trot and the grizzly bear. Now they could copy the elegant yet dexterous choreography of the Castles. Women's tea dance and concert clothing perforce became simpler to move in, and some daring young women, following their idol Irene Castle's lead, actually bobbed their hair.
No.
Shocking.
Yes, of course, not many yet. But if they couldn't get the vote, at least they could get rid of some of their heaviest corsets and some of that elaborate hairdo.
Men were changing too. There had been men's clubs for hundreds of years, of course, but now the expanding middle class created all kinds of fraternal organizations based on various shared interests like sports, colleges, shared religions, business, and charity endeavors.
And getting away from the wife and kids.
Now, women had their clubs too, although those tended to be of a social uplift variety, from suffrage and temperance to education to helping the poor. Women were also instrumental in founding what became the NAACP.
Kids had their organizations too. Campfire Girls, 1910, Boy Scouts of America, 1910, and Girl Scouts, 1912.
How do you know all that?
I learned about it when I was a bluebird.
Everybody in those clubs, young and old, probably knew Alexander's song. Of course, the advances in radio recording techniques helped.
Recording music in the 1910-1915 time frame was challenging for two main reasons. First, no electronic microphones were available. All recording was done acoustically via a large horn, which captured the sounds, provided you were close enough to that horn, and etched them directly onto the recording media.
I read somewhere that if you had more than one or two people recording a song, they'd have to arrange themselves in a semicircle in front of that horn. And then the singers would have to lean forward or step back, depending on the requirements of the music. What a production just for one song. No mixing boards yet.
Or even mics.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the second challenge, two competing recording media. The first medium invented was Thomas Edison's cylinders, which were workable but awkward compared to Emil Berliner's flat discs. Fortunately, by 1913, the disc format prevailed due to a combination of factors: ease of mass production, higher capacity once double-sided discs were developed, and improved sound quality.
Meanwhile, Alexander debuted in 1911 and caught on so fast that Irving Berlin heard it as he got out of a cab in London in 1912.
That's not all. They even played Alexander's Ragtime Band on the Titanic. That is, not long before they played Nearer, My God, to Thee.
Whatever media featured it, Alexander lived on. Broadway, vaudeville, the 1938 movie, and as recently as 1958, Ella Fitzgerald featured it in her Grammy Award-winning The Irving Berlin Songbook.
And I looked it up. Google says there are at least 4 new recordings of it in 2025.
Although the war had been raging in Europe since 1914 and spreading out to Europe's colonies in Africa, Asia, and South America, the U.S. had turned its back, dismissing the war as an old world problem and nothing to do with us.
But all that feigned indifference came to an end when the German submarines, the U-boats, sank one too many American ships.
On 6 April 1917, Congress voted to declare war on Germany.
Alexander's Ragtime Band's chorus.
Come on and hear, come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you want to go to war.
We were about to find out.
Over there. Hey, isn't Over There by George M. Cohan?